Alright, well good afternoon everybody, it's Steve. Welcome to the Little Wood Shop and our Sunday evening blog. Alright, without further ado, what do we have for you today? We have Inkscape Logo Design. Okay, well let's get going. We're going to start by, we're going to say that you've already got your copy of Inkscape open. Okay, we're going to come up here to File, and we're going to come down to Document Properties. And of course it opens up on the other side of the computer. Okay, right here, we're interested in custom size. I am going to set this to inches. Pretend that you're setting up a job size in CAD, okay? Same idea. We're going to go 6.0 inches wide, and we are going to go 2.0 inches in height. And we click out of this. Or you click anywhere on your whiteboard, and your box adjusts to the size that you've preset. You can now close this out. Alright, let's get him centered. Now you can use the addition key, the plus sign, to zoom your box in, and you can use the subtraction or the minus key to zoom your box out. Okay, I'm going to find a happy medium here for it. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to start dragging in some of the clip art that we're going to be using. In the blog itself, we give you two very trustworthy websites to go to. They're both open source clip art, no attribution. They are free for personal as well as commercial use. And yes, I attached outbound links to them both, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in the clip art that I'm going to be using for my logo design. Alright, I've already downloaded it. It's in a folder on my desk, in my documents, excuse me. So let me drag in the images I'm going to use. I'm going to click OK. Here's the first one I'm going to use. It is my, my hammer or my mallet. The next one I'm going to pull in is going to be a chisel. I told you I like the idea of using a crossed hammer and chisel for my engraver's sign. Alright, so I'm going to set him right there. And I am going to encapsulate that in some type of a round border, which I found one that I happen to like, so I'm going to pull that in now too. And I'll click OK. Now, each one of these right now are currently nothing more than a PNG file, okay? I want to convert these into a more vectorized image so that we're going to be able to expand them, make them larger, or we're going to be able to shrink them and make them smaller, alright? Let's bring our hammer up, hammer, mallet, and we're going to go to path. And you've seen me do this a gazillion times. We're going to trace the bitmap, just like bitmap tracing in VCarve Pro or Aspire. I actually prefer to do it in Inkscape anyways. I'm going to click OK. I am going to drag that nice vectorized hammer right out. And the way that we can tell the difference here, folks, again, just real quick, we're going to let's zoom in. Now, as I expand these, we're starting to see one of them get rather blurry. This is the one that we just dragged out. This is a really clean vector image. This is the old raster. Highlight him, click delete. He's now gone. Alright, now we're going to take our new hammer, put him in place. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to do the exact same thing here. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to do the exact same thing with this, this frame. I'm going to come up to path. I'm going to trace my bitmap. My brightness cut off. I'll keep everything at factory settings here. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to drag him out. Same thing has just happened again. If I were to take and we were to zoom in, hitting the addition sign here, we can already see I'm getting real blurry, but yet I'm real crisp. Highlight the blurry, hit delete on your keyboard. Great. We've now got two of our objects done. And we just did the chisel the exact same way. We went up to our path. We hit our trace bitmap. The one thing that you can do, especially when dealing with black and white imagery, you can sometimes turn up your threshold. It comes stock, preloaded at 450. you can take it up in 50 to 100 as far as increments, 450, 550, 650. Sometimes it'll offer, I like really, really dark lines, and I can tell you that this chisel right now has got some really thin lines in it. So, but we're going to show you how we take care of that too. Okay, first thing we want to do is we want to highlight this big round. I am going to drag him down into the corner here, and I am basically I'm going to work him off of a point. Let's bring him up, and I want to zoom in on this round. I'll hit the addition key on my keyboard. I can already tell that symmetrical, he's not there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, next thing I want to do is I want to take my hammer, my mallet, my sledge. He has been vectorized, but I can tell you he is going in the wrong direction. So I want to come up to Object on the very top of my bar. We're going to left click on that. Please come down to Flip Horizontally. Bang, that's done. Grab the hammer, pull him down inside the circle here, okay? And we're going to take him and we're going to try to boost him up here just a little. Stretch him out a little. Alright, there we go. Now, I'm going to leave him for just 1 second. The other thing I want to do is I want to come up here now to this chisel. This chisel is way too big. We can't fit it in for what we're looking to do. I'm going to hit the minus button to zoom out. I'm going to come up to this corner. Now, mind you, as well, when you first click on any object, I don't care what it is, you see the arrows pointing outwards. If you click on the center of the object a second time, you're now able to rotate things, okay? Alright. I want to click on him just merely once because I want to bring him down. I'm not quite sure how big we're going to need him just yet. So I'm going to drag him and I'm going to roll him in here. Now I do want to zoom in. I'm going to hit the addition button. I'm going to keep zooming. I want him fairly big. I'm going to bring him down a little bit more. I can narrow him out. Oh, maybe a little too much. Alright, I'm going to hit him again, so now I can rotate him a 45 degree. I'm going to highlight him. I'm going to stretch him. And I'm just going to keep working him like this. Now, all in all, there is more to do, but he is in place for the moment. I'm going to leave him here for just a second, and we're going to jump over to the font. We'll get right back to him, though. Alright, now let's pull in some font. Alright, we're going to come over here to our toolbar on the left-hand side of our monitor, our screen here. We're going to click on Create and Edit Text. And we're going to drop him right there. Alright, I'm going to come up here to where it says Text, the very top. And I'm going to click on Text and Font. I want to come in and I want to look for Lucida Calligraphy. And that would be the correct one right there. And this is going to be the shop's name. Lucida Calligraphy. We click Apply. Let's close this out. I'm going to come up here now to my selection, select and transform objects. Let's come down here and let's move our font in. Now, I'm going to need to squash it. We're going to need to stretch it. And this is what we're going to be doing here for the over the next few minutes, trying to make this work, or make this look correct so that it does work. Yeah, that's a better way to word it. Okay. First thing I'm going to want to do is I want to highlight my shop. I'm going to come down here to the bottom of my pad. I want to turn my text red. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to put in another line of text because we do have a punch line. We sign it at the end of all the blogs, an engraver in the woods. Alright, so we're going to come back over to our tool panel here on the side, the left-hand side. We're going to click on the Create Text. I'm going to drop it right here. Now, we have like a little tilde key swipe here, and then we have our name, or our punchline, and we put a little tilde at the end of it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come back up to Select Objects. We're going to highlight him, and we're going to move him in place. Now, I also need to go back into my text, the very top of the screen, text and font. Whatever your last font was that you saved, it will be up here in the font family. We can click on them so we don't have to go dig down and scroll through. That is convenient in my opinion. It's just one of those little things that saves you time, alright? Now, I want to shrink him in. I'm going to bring him in here the best I can. Now, again, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to change him bright red. Next thing I want to do is I want to align him to the top. I want to make sure that my bottom is centered with my top font. That's what we're going to do next. Alright, now how we align this, excuse me, what we're going to do is we're going to come up to little. We need to make sure again that our Select and Transform Objects arrow is clicked on. Excuse me. We're going to highlight the little wood shop. You're going to hold down your Shift key. You're going to also highlight an engraver in the woods. You're going to come up to the very top of the bar. You're going to click on Object. You're going to come down. We're looking for Align and Distribute. We open up a little panel over here on the side. What I want to do is I want to take my bottom one. I want to center him. That is now done. Okay. Now, because my tilde is running into the letter P, okay, I need to shorten him up just a little bit more. Okay, I will do the same thing again. Oh, I will come over. I will highlight my top. I will highlight my bottom. From the very top, I will come 3 over. I will center on the vertical axis. Alright, great. Now I am symmetrical from one end to the other. I can come up here and I can close out my little alignment box. The next thing I'm going to do, making sure that I'm highlighted again, I'm going to click on the engraver, hold down your Shift key, light up the shop, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Object Command Path. I am going to come down and I am going to group these two together. We're going to group them right now. Pow! Now they're one object. We can move these about where we deem necessary. Okay, great. Let's move this back over. Now, under the selection mode, let's now get ready to work our center. Now I am not going to change the color of this outer rim. I like it. It kind of gives a, I don't know, a slight illusion to it where the line is thin here, but it's fat in the back, but yet it's thin up here, and it's fat down here. You see what I mean? Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get in and we're going to work our two tools. This is basically all that's left to complete our logo. And then I'm going to show you how to save. Although this isn't a major logo design, I'm still going to show you how to save your work in a multitude of formats within this software, okay? Alright, one of the first things that we can see right off the top is that the size of our chisel and our lines are actually so much thinner than our hammer. So let's go in, let's make the adjustment to the chisel right now. Then we'll rework the mallet next. Then we'll get our colors changed, and we'll get on to rendering all our final imagery in all our different formats. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come into Object, because that's what we are working with, by the way, is objects within this software. We're going to come down to Fill and Stroke. You're going to open up a taskbar over here on the side, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to come in and I'm going to click on the chisel. I'm going to click on Fill. And all these other things may be lit up. Light up your wheel. Alright. And this is a little bit of a pain in the butt with my mouse, but only because I've got it set so sensitive, so bear with me for a second. Okay. I'm going to choose the darkest red that I can set this to, which is 255. Alright. So we've got him lit. I want to make my chisel fatter. I want him to line up, or at least come a little bit closer to being as thick as the lines on the hammer. Let's come over to stroke. Let's come over to stroke style. We're going to click on join and cap. I'm going to make sure both of these are cocked. Alright, now, on our width, if we come up, each time we click, you notice that red gets a little brighter. It gets a little thicker. Those lines get a little thicker. And you can actually overwhelm them so that they look blatantly stupid, okay? 3. I'm going to let it sit right there for the moment with 4. Let's try 350. Alright, I can live with that. What I am also going to do is I am going to work him back and forth. You're going to be doing this a lot. You're going to stretch him, you're going to rotate him, you're going to stretch him, you're going to rotate him. You'll end up coming with the angle that you're looking for to make this look just right. And that's basically, that is basically a lot to it. Just going back and forth, okay? We're content with where the chisel is at for the moment. The next thing I'm going to do is I personally did not like all of the little dots all over the hammer itself. I don't know if it was supposed to give it a textured look or what, but we're going to do away with all those little dots. Alright, so we're going to show you how to do that right now. Alright, the next thing I want to contend with is this big hammer. Mallet. Let's zoom in on this, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some node editing. We can close, no, we'll leave that box open for now. Alright, we can come in, and what we can do is I can see that right off the top down below here, I've got some of the grain in my hammer handle running into my chisel. Well, that does not work for me. We're going to come down here to node edit, and let's click on these. Alright, now mind you, node editing in this software is really a lot like in any other vector graphic or CAD software. I'm going to take my nodes, and I can either delete them. Oh my goodness, and I have a feeling, yes, I just deleted the whole thing. Now, this is not the first time I've done this today. It's not the end of the world. Go up to your edit, and just click on undo, delete, and it puts everything right back. Okay. So let me see if I can remember how to do this again. You highlight a node, and then you hit delete. Okay, click on him once, and dump him. Alright, there we go. Let me zoom in on this, because we all know that my eyes aren't worth spit. So here we go. Highlight him, click D, highlight him, click D. I will highlight, let's see, I'll highlight him. We'll click D, highlight him, click D. Up. Let's come down. Alright. Let me come back up. I'm going to come over here. I'll highlight him. I'll click D. Let's hit this node. And let's hit this node. Now these are underlying the chisel. I'm not concerned if I take them completely out. Let me come up here. I want to grab the end of this node's tail. I want to push him down. I'm going to grab this other node's tail right here, because I want my grain lines to look reasonable. Same thing here. I want to spin him, but I want to take this one and push him up. I'll come over here now. I'm going to highlight him. I'm going to delete him. I'm going to highlight him. I'm going to delete him. Let's highlight him. Let's delete him. Same thing again. Nope. Let's come back over. We'll delete. And we're going to push our tail in. Alright, let's zoom out, take a peek at this. Alright, now the grain line doesn't run through the chisel. I can deal with that. Next, however, though, let's zoom right back in on our hammer, because this is what we're looking to do. I'm not going to make you sit through all of this either. I'm going to click on the hammer, and we can see all the nodes light up. Let me really zoom in. Now, what I'm looking to do here is I'm looking to take all of these out. You highlight them, or you can highlight the whole box and click delete. Again, delete. This is kind of the same way we do it in VCarve Pro. With our selection mode, you know, we can come in and we can highlight all these boxes and dump them. I'm not going to make you sit through all of this, okay? The only one thing I will do is I'll pause this real quick. We'll go through, we'll drop all of these out. Alright, we have now got all the little dents and dings out. We've got what I feel is a pretty clean looking hammer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of it. At this point we can go over and we can close out our side panels over here, our fill and stroke panel. You can come into your selection mode at the very top on the left hand side. Click on your hammer. Come down to your color palette down here. I'm going to click on my red. I'm now going to highlight my hammer to match my chisel. Now what I did here was I worked these back and forth, until I got exactly what I was looking for. And I can certainly say that it was a little trying, but we did eventually get it. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of sitting here for 20 minutes and playing with this, I'm going to basically show you my finished outcome, okay, in just a second. But before we do that, of course I told you I was going to show you how to take and make multiple formats with this. Now, again, you may choose to go back and forth and readjust your hammer, your size. You may want to drag him completely out, work him a little differently off to the side. That's entirely up to you. Alright, now, as far as files go, right off the top, there are 3 that I will certainly recommend. You would go up to your upper left-hand corner. You're going to save this file much like you're going to save any other Word doc, picture, or anything else. You can save as. Now, by nature, Inkscape is going to save as an SVG. That is its proprietary file set. An SVG is a scalable vector graphic. It's preset to save as that. However, we can come in, you can save it as a PDF, which I would recommend. I would also recommend you save it as an EPS. Those are 2 of the largest file sets that you can, in my opinion, as far as vector files go, that you can pull into CAD to utilize. The next thing I would do is I would clearly also save this as a PNG. You're now going to have a transparency image, which is going to allow you to utilize this on web pages. You can use this as well on t-shirts. Like I told you, we're designing this logo because we wanted specifically to go on some products that we're going to utilize to advertise the shop with. Okay, now I've already saved all these. I'm going to cancel them out. The other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to close this out, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you one last neat little piece of free online software. And I can close this. I'm not interested in saving it. You hang on 1 second, and we'll be right back. All right, let me drag in this page right here. This is convertonlinefree.com. It tells you right here that this software has no personal information is required, and it's immediate conversion. Now, what I use this for is I like to take my PDF and I like to convert it to a JPEG, so I can come in here, I can pull up my shop logo right here, I can open it. Next thing I can do is I have the option to render this out 100, 300, or 600. I go for the absolute highest quality, and I hit convert. What this does is it downloads it into your download box, and now you're going to have a JPEG image right here. This is, in fact, our finished logo, okay? This is, in fact, the PDF of our finished logo. It is nice, it is crisp, it is clean. Now technically I could take and I can drag this into any CAD software because it is a PDF, or I could drag in the EPS that I saved of this because I saved those two file sets. Ultimately, this is what's going to go off to my print shop. This is what will go off to my business card people going forward. Everything now is going to revolve off this logo, and that's pretty much it. All right, I hope that everything we showed you was useful today. I hope that you ladies and gentlemen got a little something out of it. And of course, as always, if you ever need anything, do not hesitate to give us a shout. You can reach me, Steve, at littlewoodshop.com. Give us a jingle, and I'll answer any questions you got. Okay, folks, well, I hope you and yours had a wonderful weekend. Got out, you had some warm weather, and we're starting to enjoy this autumn that we've got. So again, my followers, my subscribers, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. I look forward to bringing you more, and stay tuned. I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday for the midweek shout out. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.